Tonight, saying goodbye to a fallen Toronto police officer.
We miss him every day, and our home will always feel empty without him.
I can't believe you're gone. Please rest easy, my beautiful friend.
Family members, police officers, and politicians gather to honor the life of Constable Andrew Hong. How those who knew him best are remembering the 48-year-old killed on the job last week. Plus,
Mom, can I go outside and play with my friends?
That message clearly didn't resonate.
the city of Toronto pulls its ad campaign encouraging kids to get vaccinated following backlash that the videos missed the mark. And
right then I was shocked. I couldn't believe that I was reading it.
a Niagara mom is speaking out after her son brought home an offensive school assignment, what it depicted, and the school's response. Good evening, I'm Kelda Yoon. People gathered to remember Constable Andrew Hong today. The Toronto police officer was shot and killed last Monday while on his lunch break. This afternoon, thousands, including his family and representatives from 89 different police services from across North America, came together at the Toronto Congress Centre to say their final goodbyes. Lorena Redekop has more.
A grieving family, along with thousands of uniformed officers and dignitaries, said goodbye to a beloved officer.
Prepare to Lord.
An official police funeral, yet also deeply personal.
We miss him every day, and our home will always feel empty without him.
Love for all, hatred for none was Honger's way of life.
A man who loved his family, almost always had a smile on his face, and loved being a motorcycle officer.
I can't believe you're gone. Please rest easy, my beautiful friend. We'll take it from here.
The horrific tragedy last Monday has shocked people across the region. Some showed their respects from overpasses as the hearse drove past before the service.
It shouldn't be able to just end like that. Like, he wasn't enforcing any laws, he was having his lunch.
Toronto's chief remembered the others affected. 2 others died, 2 more were injured.
We pay tribute to the ambulance, fire, and police personnel who rushed to the scene and tried in vain to save him. The motor officers who refused to leave his side.
Hong's daughter began her eulogy with words for her father's police family.
And I know you are grieving with us. I am so sorry that you have lost him, a friend, a brother.
She talked about her father's love of animals, cooking, and Star Wars, a man who taught her how to drive.
He was always my biggest and loudest supporter in the stands at every one of my sports games. In every video he recorded, you hear his voice, yelling and cheering. Dad, I am so sorry you won't be here to cheer me on, in and out of sports.
His wife Jenny called him a big man with a big personality, a hero to their kids. She says tomorrow would have been their 21st wedding anniversary.
So Andrew, if you are listening, please know that you will always and forever be the greatest love of my life. Happy anniversary.
A senseless death so many are struggling to understand. Lorena Redekop, CBC News, Toronto.
And a funeral will be held for another fallen police officer tomorrow. York Regional Police Constable Travis Gillespie was killed in a head-on collision in Markham last week. Gillespie was 38 years old and was on his way to work at the time of the crash. The other driver, a 23-year-old Markham man, has been charged with impaired driving causing death. A service for Gillespie will be held at Chapel Ridge Funeral Home in Markham at 1:30 tomorrow. The service is private, reserved for family and colleagues only, and there will not be a procession to the funeral home. A 17-year-old boy has died after a shooting in Scarborough this afternoon. Police were called to the scene near Midland and Eglinton at around 3:45 today.
When the officers arrived and the ambulance arrived, they found one 17-year-old male with multiple gunshot wounds. He was transported by ambulance to hospital by emergency run. He was pronounced deceased at 4:28 p.m. There was a school in the area that went into hold and secure, but that was only as a precaution. That was lifted at 4:42.
Police say they don't have any suspect information and they're appealing to members of the public who may have witnessed the shooting or have dash cam footage to contact them. However, while there have been no arrests in this case, police say there is no ongoing risk to the public. And 2 people are dead after a stabbing at an apartment building in Etobicoke. Residents of the building say they were woken up early this morning by cries for help. When emergency crews arrived, they found 3 people with stab wounds, 2 pronounced dead at the scene. Meg Roberts reports.
Blood splattered on walls and the doors on the 4th floor of this Etobicoke apartment. It's a scene some residents at 27 Bergamont want to forget.
Somebody was in the hall, woke me up. Help me, somebody help me. Bang, bang, bang on the door. Bang, 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 and he's going door to door.
It wasn't until later this morning that Ron Howarth, who lives on the same floor as the victims, heard the news. 2 people were found dead inside a unit after being stabbed.
It scares you. It scares you. You know somebody's in real serious trouble, but you don't know if you should safely open the door.
Police say they received multiple calls around 2 this morning to the apartment as well as a nearby gas station. They found 2 people deceased and another person was taken to hospital with serious injuries. Police say a man was arrested in connection with the incident.
At this point, there is no threat to the public at this time.
Other residents of the complex also processing the news today.
It seems every time I turn on the news, there's some kind of issue like this.
It's the 4th serious stabbing police in the GTA have responded to in the past 2 days. A man was charged with first-degree murder after stabbing a woman inside a Canadian Tire in Mississauga. A stabbing in an apartment building in Scarborough left a man in critical condition. And just last night, Toronto police responding to a scene in the Jane and Finch area. 2 men were stabbed. 1 was pronounced dead at the scene and the other taken to hospital. That's after an altercation between a group of people near a bike trail. 22-year-old Haroon Imran has been charged with manslaughter. Meg Roberts, CBC News, Toronto.
Meg mentioned the fatal stabbing inside a Canadian Tire in Mississauga earlier this week. Well, tonight, Peel Police have confirmed the victim's identity. 22-year-old Chandan Preet Kaur was pronounced dead at the scene. Kaur's husband of 3 years, 26-year-old Charanjit Singh, has been charged in her murder. Police are appealing for anyone with information related to this incident to contact them. The City of Toronto has pulled its public service announcement about COVID-19 vaccines for kids. The videos were meant to encourage parents to vaccinate their children by highlighting the impact of the pandemic. They were posted yesterday and removed soon after, following much backlash. The city now saying the videos send the wrong message and should not have been posted. Tyler Cheese has more.
Mom, can I go outside and play with my friends?
No, honey, there's still something going around.
This city PSA features a young girl isolated from other children to avoid getting sick. It reminds the viewer that COVID-19 vaccines are available for kids between 6 months and 12 years old. Online reaction was quick to call out the ad, the backlash prompting the city to remove the video altogether.
It missed the mark. It left the viewer with the impression that what we were saying is if your child is not vaccinated, then they can't go outside, they can't play with their friends, they can't go to school, they need to remain isolated indoors. That is not the case.
The video is the latest effort in the city's ongoing vaccination campaign. It cost $4,000 to produce and was one of 5 videos in a series. The other 4 videos are now under review.
We're also implementing a different or an enhanced, if you will, approvals process so that there are more rigorous approvals for scripts and for final videos.
Medical experts say pulling the ad was the right thing to do and highlighted the dangers of spreading unclear information.
Mixed messaging over the last 2 years has contributed to confusion and, frankly, apathy. It's really important to provide the right pieces of information to families because otherwise they're going to just turn things off again and they're going to tune out officials.
He adds isolating children is bad for their development.
Navigating social situations, making friends, making mistakes, learning from peers in a group environment. These are all really important things.
But experts also say it's important for parents to be aware of the risks COVID-19 poses to children.
Most kids will have mild symptoms, but some kids can get very sick with COVID. And the other issue is that some kids can have long-term effects of COVID. So long COVID can exist in young children.
They say the best way to keep children safe is to have them vaccinated. Tyler Cheese, CBC News, Toronto.
Let's go to Dahlia Ashry now with a first look at your forecast. And Dahlia, the last day of summer, and it was a hot and muggy one out there.
That's right, Kelda. You probably needed your umbrella earlier today, and you'll need it tomorrow, but you'll also need a sweater because it's the first day of fall. And for those fall lovers, you can also stay warm with maybe something like a pumpkin spice latte. I've been waiting to say that all week, so this is the time. The daytime high was 28 degrees today in Toronto, a little bit cooler out in Ottawa, 22 degrees. And like I said, we are expecting some rain overnight today and a risk of a thunderstorm. But let's also talk about the strong winds that we were experiencing today, and we will be experiencing overnight tonight. Winds will be gusting up to 43 kilometers an hour, and it will increase overnight to 43 kilometers, stay at 43 kilometers an hour, and then tomorrow morning, 28 kilometers an hour. So today and tomorrow, we're expecting it to be a windy day. Now, let's talk about why it gets a little cooler. There's that low pressure system that goes through and the cold front that kind of starts to cut through that humidity, giving us those cooler temperatures. And like I said, it's the fall equinox, first day of fall tomorrow, and something to look forward to. And for a cooler night tonight, 13 degrees tomorrow, 16 degrees, and a risk of rain and a windy day ahead.
Thanks so much, Dahlia. An Ontario mother is speaking out tonight after her son brought home an offensive school assignment from his kindergarten class. She says she was baffled to see how Indigenous people were described and depicted in the assignment, calling it racist and unacceptable. And as Chris Glover reports, it has prompted the school board to take action.
A kindergarten assignment to practice the letter I's upper and lower case.
Two little Indians are eating ice cream.
The word Indian, along with cartoon images of children with fringes, feathers, and deerskin.
It's very stereotypical, and puts us back in the past, and it's not right. You'll hear the term Indian used in very racist, hurtful ways from mostly non-Indigenous people of the past. It's perpetuating that, and we have to start getting those visuals out of the system so that people can understand who we are today.
Indigenous mother Tracy Smith was offended when her 4-year-old brought it home Monday from his Niagara-on-the-Lake school.
As a teacher, you have a responsibility to empower, inspire, and change and educate properly. There's no excuse for that anymore.
So we're extremely sorry that this happened, and we are absolutely taking steps to make sure it never happens again.
The district school board of Niagara is investigating and found this worksheet was only used by this one white teacher this year. Materials that go before children have kind of vets and checks and balances before they get them. So why wouldn't that have happened in this case?
That's a very good question. The majority of materials are come through the Ministry of Education.
But this worksheet is not part of the ministry's curriculum. In a statement, the ministry said it was unacceptable. All students should feel that schools are safe, inclusive, and respectful spaces to learn and grow. The teacher who used it is still teaching the class. And while the board says disciplinary action is being taken, it won't say what.
Honestly, I've done a lot of work in Indigenous ed, and not a lot of things surprised me that happened. This one did surprise me a little bit.
Georgie Grote leads a 7-person Indigenous education team for the Niagara board.
To see this was really disappointing, but really to know that, the work isn't filtering down to everyone. And so what is it that we need to do to make sure that everybody is getting the professional development and really having it hit home with them?
This is hopefully just an eye-opening event for them.
Smith says this is a teachable moment, especially with the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation next week. Chris Glover, CBC News, Toronto.
Training camp has begun for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Once again, they come in as strong contenders ahead of the upcoming season. But the question remains, can they win when it counts? The last time the Leafs won a playoff round was way back in 2004. Even though the playoffs are still more than 6 months away, they were a big topic of discussion today. Greg Ross has more.
Leafs GM Kyle Dubas is starting this season by acknowledging his team's shortcomings the past several seasons.
The reality is, I'm fully acknowledge we haven't
gotten it done in the end of the seasons.
Despite finishing with a franchise record 115 points last season, the Leafs once again failed to advance past the first round of the playoffs.
We can't change what's happened. I think we just continue to mature and grow. I think there's constant belief in the group. We know we've been very close.
You still have a bit of a sour taste in your mouth, but at the same time, I kind of look at it, and this is a new opportunity for us, a clean slate, a new season, and that's kind of your main focus.
There may be more urgency to find a way to win in the postseason for Kyle Dubas, who is now in the final year of a 5-year contract with the team. He knows another first-round exit could cost him his job.
We're an organization that preaches accountability, and in my position, I don't view myself as any different. In fact, I believe I have to be held the most accountable.
One of the biggest question marks for the Leafs heading into this season will be in goal. Last year's starter Jack Campbell left in the offseason to sign with the Edmonton Oilers as a free agent. Coach Sheldon Keefe says he plans to use both of his new goaltenders in tandem to fill the position this year. The Leafs brought in Matt Murray and Ilya Samsonov, two highly touted goaltenders early on in their careers, but both have struggled recently.
Those guys are going to push one another. I think they're both going to challenge for the net, and I think you'll see us split a lot of the duties throughout the season. But of course, it's something that'll be monitored daily and evaluated daily.
The important thing for me is just to take care of my business, really, and like I said, build relationships, keep building daily, try to get better each and every day, individually and as a team. And again, that's where my focus is at.
Murray and Samsonov will likely need to be good if the Leafs are going to exercise their playoff demons.
Our goal is not to win one round and get to the second round. Our goal is to win 4. Our goal is to win the Stanley Cup.
The Leafs will play their first preseason game Saturday when they host the Ottawa Senators. They'll open the regular season on October 12th in Montreal. Greg Ross, CBC News, Toronto.
Marineland said today it will be moving its last 2 walruses to another facility where they can join others of their species. The Niagara Falls tourist attraction says Smooshy and her baby Koyuk will be better off living with other walruses. The park also says it has reached an agreement with former trainer Phil Demers. He was sued by Marineland in 2013 after he allegedly trespassed on park grounds with other activists. Marineland claimed he was trying to steal a walrus. He denied the claim and countersued for defamation. The park says the 2 walruses will be moved out as soon as possible, but did not say where they are going. And you are looking at a live shot of the Toronto skyline, partly cloudy this evening, staying that way overnight, and still a bit muggy out there. Currently, it's 25 degrees downtown. Let's go back to Dahlia now with a more detailed look at your forecast. And Dahlia, the first day of fall tomorrow, and we will be dropping into the single digits very soon.
That's right, Kelda. Look at that. It is the autumn equinox tomorrow for all the fall lovers out there, all the pumpkin spice lovers, all the pumpkin lovers in general, and leaves changing. This is the time of year. It's going to be at around 9:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And also what we can expect is to see the equinox starting tomorrow, fall equinox. What that means is that the sun directly hits over the northern equator, and that's what gives us the cooler temperatures and giving us those fall-like temperatures that we're about to see. So the daytime highs in Toronto today, 28 degrees, winds are 29, a little bit cooler out in Ottawa. We saw some rain earlier today. We're expected to see some more rain tomorrow, some scattered showers, so make sure you bring your umbrella to work. Tonight, temperatures will drop to 13 degrees. We are about to see a risk of a thunderstorm and heavy winds gusting up to 50 kilometers an hour in some parts of the Golden Horseshoe, and it'll be cooler out in Hamilton and Mississauga, feeling more like 12 degrees tonight. Now, as we can see here, the 5-day forecast tomorrow, we're expecting some rain, and look at that. We're starting to see those single digits because of that cold front coming into across the province, slicing those humid temperatures, giving us those cooler nights. And we're going to see for Friday night and Saturday night as well. But we're starting off Friday on a lovely, bright and sunny note. That's a great way to kick off the weekend. Still a great chance. Don't let the sun fool you. Prepare your sweaters because it is still sweater weather. And then we go to Sunday and Monday. The rain will come back. 70% chance of rain. But for the most part, dry on Friday and Saturday. Thursday tomorrow is when you'll need your umbrella. Happy first day of fall tomorrow, folks.
Happy first day of fall. Thanks so much, Dahlia. Finally tonight, when a popular downtown restaurant was broken into last month, the local community came together to help the owner, raising nearly $12,000 to fix the damage. But the owner says it's more money than he needs, and as he tells Natalie Collada, he wants to use the extra funds to help others.
Elias McCool rushes to serve customers while contemplating how best to spend the nearly $12,000 raised by the community to help him with repairs to help others.
Thought about, you know what, maybe we could use that money for some good cause.
Last month, someone broke into the restaurant, smashing a large window and the cash register. The community stepped up, raising nearly $12,000 in just 6 days.
Just a very friendly, supportive guy in the community. He's always helped out like homeless people and things like that. So it's nice to kind of show how much we care about him. So I wanted to let him know that the community does care about him, and we're there to support him when he needs us most.
I'm speechless. I'm grateful. I don't know what to say. I mean, I never expected it.
Never expecting it, and now planning to use the extra funds to help others.
I'm lost in words. But on the other hand, I could use that money for something else. As I know, I'm almost done on fixing my window. I need probably $400 or $500 still, but I could manage to do that. But some other people could use it.
McCool says he's thinking of sending the money to his hometown in Lebanon to help build a solar well to provide fresh drinking water, or helping other businesses in the community who've also had recent break-ins.
We're good in here. We're good in here. We have to look at people who are less fortunate.
Fundraise organizers aren't surprised.
That's just the guy he is. Like, he could easily take that money and, use it towards his business or things like that. And he's already looking at other people who he can help out. I love the guy. He's a legend. He's a legend in the community.
Natalie Collada, CBC News, Toronto.
And that is our show for you tonight. Thank you so much for watching. Chris Glover has your next local newscast tomorrow at 6. I will see you back here tomorrow night at 11. Have a great night, everyone.